Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It is October 9th, Thursday night, about 8:39 p.m. Lee, how was the bye week for not just the Steelers, but for you? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It was a good bye week for the Steelers and for myself because the Steelers continued to move up in the division because everybody else, the Ravens, Browns, and Bengals lost, and so things are looking up for the Steelers right now. It was a good bye.
Yeah, the Steelers are now 2 games ahead of everyone in the division. They sit at 3-1. The Bengals, the closest to them, are 2-3. They just made an interdivisional trade acquiring Joe Flacco. The Ravens are 1-4, and the Cleveland Browns are 1-4. So right now, the Steelers are sitting pretty. Before we get into that Browns game, what are your thoughts on the Browns and Bengals making the trade for Joe Flacco?
Well, I mean, I think it was something that was going to happen, at least for the Browns, with the big quarterback room that they had going on, with about five quarterbacks they had. And then they lost Kenny Pickett to the Raiders. And then now, Joe Flacco, who, wasn't doing, the best for the Browns, but he was playing decent. And I mean, with the loss of Joe Burrow, for the next couple months, I mean, it was something that was needed. And now it's at a point where Joe Flacco's almost played for every team in the AFC North, and so it's kind of crazy. Do the Steelers pick him up at the end of the season as a backup next season?
For the Steelers' sake, I hope not. I think this is a do good by the Browns. They wanted to give Flacco a chance to make some start somewhere. The way their season's going, they don't expect to be in the playoff contention. So I think they figured, hey, let's give this guy one more season. It's probably his last year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he can find his spot where he can get some starts. And they let him go over to Cincinnati, which I think is an interesting move. They got some good receivers there. They got some weapons that maybe Flacco's able to use more efficiently than Jake Browning was able to. And then, I mean, we're at the quarter mark of the season, so I guess we can go into more about the division. The Baltimore right now 1-4, and their defense has been awful. To
Mm-hmm.
this point, they're out without Lamar Jackson for at least one more week before their bye. I can't see them making the playoffs. Right at 1-4 now, you're looking at 1-5 most likely. They're done, right?
I think so. I mean, they would. I mean, ultimately, if they fall to 1-5, they ultimately have to win like 12 straight games just to be able to, even get a winning record. And I don't foresee them even doing that. I mean, with the way things have been going with that defense, and who's to say Lamar Jackson's going to be 100% when he comes back? I mean, just because just because he comes back doesn't mean he's going to be ready to go. So. I do. I think the Ravens, this might be a done year for them. I think I did see a clip of the fans booing, John Harbaugh, one of the games he was leaving, and so I think the fans are too happy with him this year. And I think the Ravens might be done this year.
I mean, yeah, we have all the talk about Tomlin not like Tomlin coming and not winning playoff games lately and do all that. And I think people in Baltimore probably are getting tired of Harbaugh in the same way we're talking about. Both of them are great coaches in my eyes. And obviously they'll find somewhere to be if they do get let go. But maybe it is time for both of them. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hard to say that with the Steelers, though. Steelers, top of the division right now, 3-1. They get to face the Browns this week, a team that has not been very impressive so far this year. They get to face a rookie quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. They're currently a 5.5-point favorite at home. The over-under on the game is 30.5, so they're expecting a low-scoring game. I personally think that this is always going to be a trap game when you're playing the Browns, and their defense has been solid so far this year. Myles Garrett obviously is Myles Garrett. He's been awesome. He's been one of the best defenders in the league so far this season. What are your thoughts on the game this week? Are you as scared as I am?
I'm not. I think that I got a little bit of hope with that Vikings game,
Yeah.
and as I was a little nervous with that game, but the way that the defense has shown out with the past two games they played with the Vikings and the Patriots, I'm a little more optimistic with this game, and now coming off of a bye, getting some rest, and having some players come back. And healed up and rested. I think I'm a little more optimistic with this game, and I think that It's going to be a very good game. It's going to be very defensive. I think that, the Steelers are going to come out against this rookie quarterback, and I think they're going to, show the division and show a little bit of the league that they can still be a contender throughout the rest of the season. So I think it's going to be a very good game for the Steelers. And I expect a big score, high scoring win for them.
High scoring, I'll be surprised
Yeah.
by, but I think they do cover. I just am concerned. I am a little worried. This is one of those Tomlin games you get sometimes.
Yeah.
That it's just right there, coming off the bye week. I expect the defense to play well. The Browns just don't have anything going for them really offensively at the moment. Defensively, they're strong all over the place. The good thing with the Steelers is the bye, and Mike Tomlin talked about getting some people healthy. Here's him at the beginning of his press conference on Tuesday. Get that locked in there.
Good afternoon. Certainly was a good bye week for us on a lot of fronts. First and foremost, from a health standpoint, feel really encouraged about the return of some people who've been out. Guys like Alex Highsmith and Joey Porter Jr., for example, worked yesterday on our bonus day, and the arrows pointed up on their participation. But we'll follow them throughout the week to make sure it continues to move in the appropriate direction. I think the same thing could be said for Jaylen Warren. Obviously, he missed the last game, but looked really good yesterday. And so excited about those guys. Two guys that we're watching very closely that certainly are going to be limited at the front part of the week, but may perk up and be included toward the latter part of the week is Calvin Austin with his shoulder and Jalen Ramsey with his hamstring. Both have been highly aggressive from a rehabilitation standpoint during the bye week, and so really encouraged about the potential of those guys, but we'll take it certainly day to day. The bye week is also an opportunity for us to.
Before we go in there, those big names coming back, a couple names still on the injured list, but what's the name you're most excited about getting back onto the field?
I think Alex Highsmith for sure.
Yeah.
I mean Joey Porter for sure, but I think that the secondary has definitely stepped up without him being there. And you could say the same for the linebacker and defensive end core with Herbig and Wilson coming in there and stepping up and making plays. But I'm excited to see Highsmith get back out there. I know that we've talked about it in the past with him and TJ on the other side being probably the best duo, edge rushers in the league right now. And so, I'm excited to see him come back for sure. And, Joey Porter Jr., we haven't seen him all season at all. So this will be, the first game back for him, just hoping that he's ready to get back into the groove of things and being able to be, the corner we've seen over the past couple of years with him.
Yeah, I think I'm right with you with Highsmith being the one I'm most excited about. And Joey Porter Jr. coming back, if Ramsey's not able to go, that's going to be a big deal there. One I'm most intrigued by, though, is Jaylen Warren. Kenneth Gainwell over in Ireland played the best running back game we've had all year. Kenneth Gainwell's also the guy they had taking snaps in game one. So I'm wondering whether or not they choose to stick a little bit more with Gainwell, given what he did last week. And there's, like I said, week one, having him out there a lot more than Warren, maybe there's going to be more of a split than a lot of us thought at the early stages of the offseason and everything.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he definitely showed out and showed that he could play and be a starter in this league with that game over in Ireland, and he played very well. And what's interesting to me is I don't know if you saw anything, but I never still got the information on what Jaylen Warren's injury was. They never really said much, but it just seems like I guess he's okay. He should be coming back, but yeah, they may be splitting the snaps now at this point, just by the way that Gainwell stepped up in that game in Ireland. So we'll have to just see how things go. But I mean, if Warren's not ready to go, I'm excited to see Gainwell get back out there and make some plays.
Yeah, I'll double check on the Warren thing. There's Mike Tomlin talking about the bye week in general and how it helps.
To sit back and take a look at some of the things that we've done schematically, adapt adaptations we've made, the circumstance, whether it's matchup related or player availability related, to look at the overall trajectory of our units, offensively, defensively, and special teams relative to our vision. Also to look around and look at some of the things that are trending in the game, how people are producing or preventing big plays, whether it's run or pass, the turnover game, gadget plays, etc., possession down play, fourth down appetites. We looked at a lot of things going on globally, and I think oftentimes you do that. But I think that's one of the advantages of maybe having an early bye, just to get a sample size of how the ball is being rolled out globally in 2025 at the early stages of it. And we did some of that. It was a good experience for us, but it's also really good to get back into the world of competition this week. We had a really good bonus day yesterday, putting an emphasis on physical conditioning and running and playing football that way as we get back and warm back up to it. And so excited about continuing that during the week. I'll talk briefly about about Cleveland.
He says he talks briefly, but I'm pretty sure it's an 11-minute conversation. What I've heard, I have not listened to the press conference, so we might not listen to the whole talk there. But he went on there about the good parts about the bye. Are you at all concerned with the idea that they're pretty well going into the bye, and that maybe they lose that momentum coming back after a couple weeks off?
Yeah, I think a little bit, and I get a little concerned with early buys, just because right after the bye it's going to be a long stretch of games, week after week after week.
Yeah, you better better get that bye later on for the playoffs. Get this number one seed then.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit, because they were rolling in those past two games. They seem to get some things figured out, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And so I'm a little concerned. But I think it was good that they got some rest, especially, being overseas and having that jet lag and being able to come off of that and, get back to their normal schedule here, on the East Coast. But I am just a little bit concerned with an early bye and losing a little bit of momentum going into this game on Sunday.
Yeah. And then going back to Warren, it was considered his knee is why he was out. But during the whole week, it was his non-injury related resting vet knee. That was both Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I think were all the similar designations. I'm guessing that if it was a game in Pittsburgh, he probably would have been fine. But the fact that we had to fly all over there, there's no way that helps. If you have a bum knee that you're going to be on a flight for that long.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what happened because it's like I said, it was a lot of the designations were non-injury related, which is not something you see a lot, I guess, on the report. But that's where they were with him.
The other thing I didn't even know Calvin Austin got hurt. I don't remember him getting an injury in that game. I don't remember seeing too much of him, but maybe something happened on a play where it was a tackle or something or a block. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's always it's tough to know for sure when there's so many guys on the field. I can double check on his injury real quick too. Going on. Do you want to hear some from him on? Let's go. Let's listen.
Yeah, let's hear a little bit of him. Yeah, let's hear a little bit of him.
Some things going on with those guys. First on offense, obviously last week they went to Dylan Gabriel. This guy's a unique rookie. First of all, he's 25 years old, Hawaii native. He's a year older than Herbert, to put perspective on it. He's a 6-year college player. He threw for over 18,000 yards in college, 155 touchdowns, 32 interceptions in terms of a TD to interception ratio. And so I think that in-helmet perspective, you can't put a price tag on. He also threw for 10,000 plus yards in high school. And so he is a rookie new to the National Football League, but this guy's thrown the football around a lot. He's older and more experienced than most rookies. I think timely processing is his superpower. And I think his experience and that superpower has been on display. And I think those are one of the central reasons why they went to him. He's able to function with fluidity in an effort to minimize negativity when passing. They play a lot through their running back and their running game anyway. And so we got a big challenge dealing with him and dealing with them this week. I mentioned their running game.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel had a long college football career. Started in Central Florida, was a great player there, gets injured, ends up coming back into Oregon. Now he's got a shot in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying there. It's almost a similar path to Kenny Pickett, except for the injury part and the transferring part. But long-term veteran guy is going to come in here and get some starts. I don't like his chances long-term to be a guy in this league. He's not on the smaller side, and generally those guys don't work out. You get your Drew Brees every once in a while. Kyler Murray's trying to work it through it himself, but I don't think Gabriel's as talented as either one of those guys. And I just don't think he's the long-term answer for the Browns.
No, yeah, I'm not, and I'm not too really concerned with him this week. What I thought was great was real quick was how Mike Tomlin was talking very well about him, and then these highlights show, and he's not doing well at all throwing the ball. So I thought that was pretty good. But I'm not too concerned with the guy. I think that he's going to come into the city and play against a defense he's never seen before, and it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be the best game for him, and I don't foresee him, being like you said, a starter in this league in the future. He may be a backup going forward, in the league. But the Browns must see something in him because they drafted him before Shador, and they have Shador as, I think, their third string right now still. So I don't know. So we'll see how things go with him, but I'm not too concerned with the guy.
I mean, he's still a third-round pick. The Shador thing, I think, is something completely different.
For sure.
But yeah, long term, I don't think he's the guy. I mean, obviously they're getting Deshaun Watson back in the coming weeks also, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I did look it up. Calvin Austin, he injured his shoulder in the fourth quarter when he landed on the ball. So that's when he got out last week.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think the Browns are in a good spot. Who knows what's going to happen this offseason? I could see Myles Garrett asking for a trade. I know he just got the big contract. Before he got that, he was complaining and wanted to trade there. So I could see some drama in there. But other than that, offensively, they got some good young running backs that can do something. Defensively, they got some good pass rushers. But I don't want to go too far to say this is an easy win because I feel like it's going to be a close game. I feel like this could be the trap game. I know you're feeling the other way. You're thinking the Steelers are going to be able to win this one pretty handily. But
I do. I think this is my third game that I'm giving them, and if I see something good, I think I'm turning things around. So I do. I foresee, them having a very good game, and being able to be home in the home crowd and playing in a division game and seeing how the rest of the division is going. I think it's just going to help them, show the rest of the league that they can still, participate in the rest of the season and into the postseason. I mean, right now there's some teams right now that are way better than the Steelers for sure. From what we've seen, the Jags look pretty good. The Bills, the Colts, and so I think that there's still some competition out there. But I think if the Steelers can continue the momentum that they had with that game in Minnesota and from the Patriots game as well, and getting some of these guys back that were injured to be able to mix them into the to the way things are being, to the gameplay and things like that, I think they're going to be a tough team to beat come towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the conference, two teams 4-1 ahead of them are the Colts and the Bills. The Chargers have a good squad, and then Jacksonville is also 4-1, so I missed out on them. They're not leading their division. That's why I'm looking at the conference standings here. I mean, honestly, with Kansas City falling off, with Baltimore falling off, I do feel better about their chances to succeed in the playoffs. Buffalo is the only team where I'm really like, okay, this team's better than us, and they still have their flaws. So I'm feeling better about the Steelers. That doesn't mean anything. They can lose their next 5, and I wouldn't be shocked either.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
But we are a quarter of the way through the season. I figured we can do some quarter MVPs. Starting on defense, who do you got defensively as your MVP for the Steelers?
Um, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Cam Hayward right now. I think that he's been the captain, has been getting these players hyped up and ready. He's made a couple pass deflections that have been intercepted. I think he's gotten like a sack or two so far. And I think, just seeing that one clip of him getting the whole defense on the sideline with him and talking to them and coaching them, I think that he's stepping up to being the captain. And I think I'm probably going to have to owe this man a huge apology this coming Sunday. But I'm going to take Cam Hayward right now as my MVP.
Yeah, I'm right there with Cam. He's the only guy that really has been making impact plays in each game. TJ's coming on a little later, but he was a little quiet early on. I was wondering whether or not you'd be willing to go there, but you did. You went there with him. I'm proud of you.
Thanks
for manning up. Yeah, I think that's the easy answer there. Offensively, I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers just because he's been a steady guy there. We had some concerns, I guess, because of age. I don't know if those have been lessened at all, but at least we know that he's got something in them. He's not as mobile as he used to be. Maybe he can't throw it as far as he used to be, but he's been a good good leader, shown great leadership. And I think that he's my MVP on offense. I don't know if you've anyone else that you can think of.
No, I agree. I think just what the tools that he has, and especially with how things haven't been great with the offensive line, he's been able to get the ball out, probably a little bit quicker than he normally does, but they've been able to, make a offensive plan for him to be able to throw the ball quick. I'm not a huge fan of the quick passes and out passes, but it seems to be working for them to be able to, slowly move down the field. And, right now, I think I saw a stat where the Steelers offense is second in the league in the red zone right now with scoring touchdowns. So I think he's making the plays that need to be made right now and doing what he can do as the quarterback. And I think he's playing well, I haven't seen too many mistakes with him. I mean, there was that game in Seattle, which was, a little scary. But I think that he's doing what he needs to do, to be the quarterback of our team and be the head guy in the offense. So, I think he's my MVP and doing well so far this, through these first 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it looks so far through this quarter that they made the right choice at quarterback. Wilson's already been benched by the Giants. I mean, Justin Fields is 0-5. That you can't blame it on him completely. The Jets are the Jets.
Yeah.
Look like Aaron Glenn might not have too long of a leash there, even though it's early on. But yeah, if you're the Jets fans, I don't know what you're thinking, whether or not you want Aaron Rodgers back, but I think at the very least, you see that maybe it wasn't him that was the reason you were bad last year. He's winning for the Steelers. And easily our MVP, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Anything else that from the first quarter that surprised you or made you feel different than you were expecting coming in?
I mean, it was a slow start those first couple games for sure. I think that it just took a little bit of weeks for the team to mesh. I was concerned with those first two, especially after that Seattle game, because I can't remember, and I don't know if you have what our predictions on game by game in front of you, but I think we maybe had both had them winning that game against Seattle, and the fact that they lost that game, I think, shocked me. And I was thinking, oh man, I think, we saw that Jets game, and then we saw this game. It's like, oh, was it really a good game? But the way they turned it around, and Mike Tomlin having the optimism of saying that he wasn't concerned, and then defense came in the past 2 weeks, week 3 and week 4, with I think about 5 or 6 turnovers, or about 3 turnovers in each game, and then about 5 or 6 sacks in each game. But I think that maybe they got things moving and things the mesh, and I was a little concerned, but I think they're doing well, so far. I think it was a slow start, but I think they're moving in the right direction right now.
Yeah, and like Seattle's a lot better than we thought they were, I think, too.
Mhm. Yeah.
They've when we were playing them, they had come off the loss to the 49ers. They were 0-1. We're thinking that Sam Darnold had a bad game there, but since
Mhm.
then they've played a lot stronger. They did lose to the Buccaneers last week, but it was a close game, 38-35. The Buccaneers are one of the best teams in the NFC right now, dark horse Super Bowl
Mhm.
contender by a lot of guys.
Mhm.
I don't know if me personally, but I know a lot of people were expecting the tight ends to play a big role coming into this season, and that's just not been the case. And none of them really have flashed much of anything. I think a lot of us thought that Johnny Smith was going to come in there and have a big role, and it's not been the case. Freiermuth got the contract and everything like that, and we were thinking, hey, with Arthur Smith in here, maybe he's going to get more. I don't know if it's the way Rodgers likes to play it or not, but the tight ends really have not had an impact so far this year. And that was something that people were talking about early, right?
Yeah, I mean, we really haven't seen too many targets to Freiermuth or Washington, Jonnu Smith, Hayward, whatever. And yeah, we haven't seen them. I don't know if it's the fact that the offensive line isn't giving Rodgers enough time to let the tight ends get to their routes, but yeah, I don't know. We really haven't seen much of them. I don't even know if they really have too many targets, for sure, at least thrown to them. I mean, we've seen a little bit of DK. We've seen some Calvin Austin. And I think that's pretty much been it. And then, maybe to Hayward or Gainwell and things like that. But yeah, we have not seen much of the tight ends. And I do think that, with that trade with Minka to get Jonnu Smith, and I think you're right. I think that there was some thought that he would be a key component to this offense, but we haven't seen much of him at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to think through defensively. I mean, Derek Harmon's looked good, I think, early on. That was good to see after his injury. They were able to survive some injuries now. It looks like they're getting back healthy, like we talked about with Highsmith back, Elliott coming back last week. I think Elliott played a big role.
I think your guy's doing well, Peyton Wilson. He's been showing out.
Past game it's been a little rougher, but he's doing what he can, right?
Yeah.
I mean the defense has played solid.
And I think that the guys that have come in
weeks.
I think that the guys that have come in for the injuries, I think they've stepped up and been able to fill those spots. Nick Herbig coming in for Highsmith, things like that. Who I'm trying to think who went down. Elliott, and then you had Elliott went down, and then you had those guys go down, and then the other backups came in
Porter
and stepped
Jr.,
up.
obviously.
And the backups came in and stepped up, to be able to fill those spots. So I think that they have now, they've played together a few weeks. I think they've got it, down packed, and I think maybe Terrell Austin has something.
Yeah, they played Holcomb a little more too, and I think he's helped. But yeah, what can you say? I mean, they're coming off their best game in a long while. I think against Minnesota.
Because I don't think a lot of people had them winning that game, especially overseas, and so but it was a good win. They did what they needed to do, and they showed out, and I think, like I said, I think I'm a little concerned, like I said, with an early bye week, but I think that they could continue this momentum and show the rest of the league that they can still be a contender in this league.
Yeah. I feel much better about the ability to win a playoff game now than I did before. Maybe it's not just them. Maybe it's the way the league's going. The Chiefs are a mess right now.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Jacksonville's great. Who knows? Maybe Jacksonville's great.
Yeah.
Between the Chiefs and the Ravens.
Your boy Duval.
You called it. Your boy. You're the one. You're the one who's got him.
Coach of the year.
Yeah. So
he's doing his thing. Yeah.
You gotta give you the tip of the cap at least early on.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for this week. Unless you have anything else you want to hit on.
Real quick, Penguins starting back up.
Yeah,
Our boy Nick. What was it? Fleury came in for one preseason game, retired as a Penguin, which was nice. Penguins are 1-0. Are they back?
Did you just call him Nick Fleury?
It was an accident. Yeah, I can't even think.
Is that a reference to the Avengers' great Nick Fury?
Nick Fury, yeah.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
I think I saw that his jersey from that game's on sale, and it's like going to for donations, obviously, but it's going up for a high price, so I didn't see where it was at now. But playoffs for the baseball starting up. Nothing really going on there. At some point, I'm going to talk about the Pirates, but not yet.
Yeah.
We'll see when it comes
NBA is
up
going to be starting up soon, so we're going to
Yeah.
have a lot of sports to be talking about. A lot of stuff going on.
back in there, and Pitt football starting May
Football.
9th.
Penn
Come out with
State's stinking it
18-year-old
up.
guy. Yeah, so
Penn
there's a
State's
lot of
stinking
football
it up.
going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Maybe we can hit on it some more, but for now we're going to be Steeler heavy, I guess.
Steeler heavy. We're in the season.
But I'll see you, Lee.
I'll see you. Have a good one.
You too.